welcome to this clip on Sustainable Competitive Advantage. My name is Professor Martin Grimmer. I'm the Deputy Dean of the Tasmanian School of Business and Economics and Discipline Leader for Marketing in the school. This clip's designed to provide an overview of the concept of sustainable competitive advantage, and it draws on the work of Michael Porter, who was one of the leading researchers in this field. The term competitive advantage was first used in the 1970s. It is the process through which a firm can identify, develop, and then take advantage of a sustainable business edge over its competitors. Competitive advantage gained attention and popularity as a result of the work of Michael Porter in the field of strategic management in the early and mid-1980s. According to Porter, competitive advantage is the result of a firm's ability to create value for its customers that exceeds the cost of creating that value. Porter noted that the essence of formulating competitive strategy is relating a company to its environment, and he developed the competitive strategy framework to help address the 5 basic competitive forces existing within different industries. The 5 forces driving industry competition at varying intensities within individual industries are potential entrants, so the threat of new entrants coming into the industry; competitors, so competition between existing firms in the industry; suppliers, who have bargaining power; buyers, who also have bargaining power; substitutes, that is the threat of different products and services. The 5 competitive forces determine the level of competition and profitability within each particular industry, and examining and understanding industry structure should be the first point in strategy analysis. Although a firm may have a number of specific strengths and weaknesses compared with its competitors, Porter maintained that there are in essence 2 basic types of competitive strategy to deal with these 5 competitive forces, that is low cost and differentiation. Either through a low-cost proposition or through effective differentiation, a firm can pursue a broad strategy or focus on a narrow segment or need. On this basis, Porter suggested 3 generic strategies: overall cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Cost focus and differentiation focused. These can be used either individually or in combination depending on a firm's particular circumstances. Porter noted that the essence of formulating competitive strategy, as I said, is relating to a company and its environment, and he developed the competitive strategy framework to help address the 5 basic competitive forces existing within different industries. The 5 forces driving industry competition at varying intensities within individual industries are, as I said, 1. Rivalry among existing competitors. So that can mean a few things: number of competitors, quality differences, other differences, switching costs, customer loyalty, and costs of leaving the market. The second one is threat of new entrants. This can be the time and cost of entry, specialist knowledge they provide, economies of scale, cost advantages, technology protection, or barriers to entry. The third one, bargaining power of buyers, refers to number of customers, size of each order, differences between competitors, price sensitivity, ability to substitute, and the cost of changing. The fourth, threat of substitutes, refers to substitute performance and again the cost of change. The fifth one, supplier power, talks about the number of suppliers, the size of suppliers, the uniqueness of service, your ability to substitute something, the cost of changing. The 5 competitive forces therefore determine the level of competition and profitability within each particular industry, and examining and understanding industry structure should be the first point in any strategy analysis. Although a firm may have a number of its own strengths and weaknesses compared with competitors, like I said earlier, Porter maintained that there are in essence 2 basic types of competitive strategy to deal with these competitive forces: low cost and differentiation. Either through a low-cost proposition or through effective differentiation, a firm can pursue a broad strategy or focus on a narrow segment or need. On this basis, again, we have the 3 generic strategies: overall cost leadership, differentiation, and focus, that is cost focus and differentiation focus. These can be used individually or in combination depending upon the firm's particular circumstances. A firm's relative position within its industry determines whether the profitability of the business is above or below the industry average. Although a firm may have a number of specific strengths or weaknesses compared with its competitors, there are these 2 basic strategies, that is low cost and differentiation. Either through a low-cost proposition or through effective differentiation, a firm pursues a broad target or a focus on a narrow segment. So again, the 3 basic strategies are overall cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. These can be used individually or in combination depending on the firm's particular circumstances, and the firm should choose one of the generic strategies in order to achieve and sustain competitive advantage. Often firms may become stuck in the middle. That is, the firm is unable to develop a strategy from one of the three generic strategy choices, and then usually they will suffer from low profitability. If we turn to looking at a cost leadership strategy, here the firm sets out to become the low-cost producer in its industry. The source of competitive advantage are varied and depend on the structure of the industry. A low-cost producer must find and exploit all sources of cost advantage. Cost leadership is typically associated with intense managerial supervision of cost reductions across each department, for example, labour, distribution and control systems, as well as ensuring that the firm has low costs relative to its competitors. Although the aim of cost leadership is to run cost reductions throughout the firm, other aspects such as service and quality should not be ignored. Achieving and maintaining a cost leadership strategy usually depends on the firm possessing advantages in the industry such as market share, access to financial capital, purchase of specific equipment, and easy access to raw materials. Once a firm has achieved cost leadership, it is usually able to command high margins and reinvest in state-of-the-art equipment and processes, which allow it to then maintain and sustain its low-cost proposition. Turning to a differentiation strategy, this is used by firms which seek to set apart their products or service from competitors and offer something unique within the industry, preferably across several dimensions within the firm. For example, offering high-quality products with a reputation for excellent customer service. By providing the market with attributes that are considered important, the firm can uniquely position itself to meet those needs, and it is rewarded for its uniqueness with a premium price. Pursuing a differentiation strategy does not mean that a firm can or should ignore cost. It means that cost is not the primary concern. Firms which achieve differentiation are likely to enjoy brand loyalty from customers, often with accompanying low price sensitivity, and increased margins, although sometimes such firms are not likely to achieve high levels of market share as a result of perceptions of exclusivity. Finally, a focus strategy rests on the choice of a narrow competitive scope within an industry. The business selects a segment or group of segments in the industry and tailors its strategy to serving them to the exclusion of others. The focus strategy has two variants. First, in a cost focus, a firm seeks a cost advantage in its target segment. In a differentiation focus, a firm seeks differentiation in its target segment. Both variants of the focus strategy rest on differences between the focused target segment and other segments in the industry. The target segments must either have buyers with unusual needs, or else the production and delivery system that best serves the target segment must differ from that of other industry segments. Cost focus exploits differences in cost behaviour in subsegments, while differentiation focus exploits the special needs of buyers in certain segments. Thank you for listening.